The champagne glass shattered against the marble floor, and everyone stopped dancing. My boss stood on the stage, microphone in hand, pointing directly at me with that smirk I'd seen 1,000 times but never aimed my way like a loaded gun. "Ladies and gentlemen," Marcus Chin announced, his voice booming through the hotel ballroom. "Let's give a round of applause to David Sterling, the man who almost made us all rich!" Laughter erupted. Not polite chuckles. Real, gut-deep laughter that cut through the Christmas music and the twinkling lights like broken glass through skin. Before we continue, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your country. I love knowing how far these stories travel. I stood there in my rented tuxedo, because I couldn't afford to buy one anymore, watching 200 people I'd worked alongside for 7 years laugh at my destruction. Sarah, my fiancée, stood 20 feet away in that red dress I'd bought her. She wasn't laughing. She was smiling. There's a difference. Laughter can be nervous, accidental. A smile is a choice. Next to her stood Derek Houghton, VP of Sales, his hand resting on the small of her back. The same back I'd kissed goodnight 3 days ago before she told me she had to work late. David thought he could bypass the chain of command. Marcus continued, his eyes glittering with something that looked like joy. Thought he could pitch directly to the board without running it through proper channels. Thought he was special. My pitch. 6 months of work. A revolutionary data analytics platform that would have saved the company $30 million annually. I'd built it nights and weekends, sacrificed sleep, skipped meals, ignored every warning sign in my relationship because I believed this was my shot. Our shot. The board reviewed his proposal, Marcus said, pausing for effect. Professional showman. Always had been. And they laughed. They actually laughed. But you know what the best part is? He gestured to Derek, who stepped forward holding a leather portfolio I recognized immediately. My portfolio. The one I'd left in Sarah's apartment. Derek here took David's work, refined it, fixed all the amateur mistakes, and presented it properly. Through proper channels. The way professionals do things. Marcus's smile widened. And the board approved it. Derek's getting promoted to senior VP. $50,000 bonus. And David? Every eye in the room found me. David Sterling is fired. Effective immediately. Security will escort you out. Don't come back Monday. Don't call HR. Don't contact anyone here. You're done. The room didn't go silent. It went worse. It went sympathetic. Pitying whispers. Concerned faces that wouldn't translate into action. Corporate vultures smelling blood but too polite to feed publicly. I looked at Sarah one more time. She mouthed 2 words. "I'm sorry." Then she turned back to Derek, laughing at something he whispered in her ear. 2 security guards materialized beside me. One of them I knew, Ramon, who I'd helped when his daughter needed surgery, fronting him $2,000 when HR wouldn't approve his advance. "I'm sorry, David," he whispered. "I got my orders." They walked me through the ballroom, past the ice sculptures and the chocolate fountain and the people I'd celebrated with at a dozen parties just like this one. Past Jenny from accounting who owed me her job after I covered for her mistake. Past Thomas from IT who I'd trained personally. Past everyone who'd ever asked me for help, for advice, for a favor. None of them met my eyes. The December air hit me like a fist when they pushed me out the service entrance. Not even the front door. The service entrance, where they put the trash. My phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. "We need to talk. Tomorrow. Coffee?" I blocked her number. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. "Mr. Sterling, this is Cornerstone Bank. Your mortgage payment is 60 days overdue. If payment is not received within 72 hours, foreclosure proceedings will begin." I'd given Sarah the money. $3,000. She said she'd handle it because I was working so hard on the project. She said she wanted to help. Another text. My landlord. "David, your car was towed from the guest parking. City impound. Also, your lease is up December 31st, and I've got someone else lined up. Need you out by then. I looked up at the building where I'd worked for 7 years. 43rd floor. Lights still blazing. Party still raging. They were celebrating my death. I walked to the subway station with $43 in my wallet, and no idea where I was going. I woke up in my brother's basement. Tyler had always been the fuck-up. 3 failed businesses, 2 divorces, an arrest record for bar fights. Our parents had given up on him years ago and put everything into me. The golden child. The one who went to Yale. The one with the corner office and the beautiful fiancée and the future. Coffee's upstairs. He called down. Made it strong. You look like shit. I climbed the stairs feeling every one of my 34 years like it was 60. Tyler's apartment was exactly what you'd expect. Mismatched furniture, empty beer bottles, sports memorabilia covering every wall. But it was warm. And he hadn't asked any questions when I showed up at 2 in the morning. Thanks, I said, taking the mug. What happened? I told him. All of it. The pitch, the theft, the betrayal, Marcus, Derek, Sarah. The foreclosure. The career death. Everything. Tyler listened without interrupting, which wasn't like him. When I finished, he was quiet for a long moment. You know what your problem is? He finally said. I trusted people? You played their game. He leaned forward. You think the corporate world has rules. Honor. Fairness. You think if you work hard and play nice and follow the process, they'll reward you. He shook his head. That's not how power works, David. Power doesn't care about fair. It cares about winning. Great philosophy. How's that worked out for you? Better than it worked out for you last night. That shut me up. Look, Tyler said, I'm not saying I got it figured out. But I know one thing you don't. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. It's designed to protect people like Marcus and Derek and take everything from people like you and me. The only way to beat it is to stop playing by their rules. What rules should I play by? Your own. My phone rang. My mother. David, is it true? Janet Chin called me this morning. She said Marcus fired you at the Christmas party in front of everyone. Please tell me she's confused. Janet Chin. Marcus's wife. They played tennis together at the country club. It's true, Mom. Silence. Then, what did you do? I didn't do anything. You must have done something. People don't get fired for no reason. Especially not humiliated like that. Marcus wouldn't do that unless you deserved it. He stole my work, Mom. He gave it to Derek and... Oh, David. She sighed like I was 12 and had disappointed her again. You always do this. You always blame others when things don't go your way. When are you going to take responsibility for your choices? I'm taking responsibility right now. I can't talk about this. Your father and I have the Johnsons' holiday party tonight. Try not to make this worse. And please, for God's sake, apologize to Marcus. Maybe he'll give you another chance. She hung up. Tyler handed me another coffee. Family's great, huh? I sat there on his worn couch, looking at my phone, at the cascade of messages coming in. Friends asking what happened. Colleagues expressing concern. LinkedIn notifications as connections quietly severed themselves from my profile. And one text from Derek. No hard feelings, man. You understand how business works. Opportunity knocked. I answered. Drinks sometime? I stared at that message for a long time. Then I deleted it. Then I deleted LinkedIn. Then I deleted Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Everything. What are you doing? Tyler asked. Disappearing. The foreclosure was real. I sat across from a lawyer who looked 12, in an office that smelled like old coffee and broken dreams. Mr. Sterling, I'll be honest with you. You don't have a case. She took my money. $3,000. I gave it to her specifically for the mortgage and she. Can you prove that? What? Can you prove you gave her the money specifically for the mortgage? Was there a contract? A written agreement? A text message stating explicitly that the money was for that purpose? I thought back. We'd been at dinner. She'd mentioned the mortgage was coming up. I'd said I'd handle it, but I was swamped with the project. She'd offered to take care of it. I'd transferred the money. That was it. No. Then legally, that was a gift. You have no claim to it. As for your work product, were you working on company time? Some of it. Not all of it. Using company resources? Company computers? Company data? Yes, but then it's company property. They own it. And they can assign credit however they want. He spread his hands. I'm sorry, Mr. Sterling. I know it feels unjust. But from a legal perspective, you don't have a leg to stand on. What about wrongful termination? Washington is an at-will employment state. They can fire you for any reason or no reason, as long as it's not discriminatory. Were you fired because of your race, religion, gender, age? No. Then it's not wrongful termination. He closed my file. My advice? Cut your losses. File for bankruptcy if you need to. Start fresh. You're young. You'll bounce back. I walked out of there feeling emptier than I'd ever felt in my life. I was on my laptop in Tyler's basement, applying to jobs I was overqualified for, when the call came. Unknown number. Mr. Sterling? This is Gerald Rothman. You don't know me, but I know you. I'm not interested in whatever you're selling. I'm not selling anything. I'm offering something. 10 minutes of your time. There's a diner called Mel's on 5th and Jefferson. Be there in 1 hour. Order the coffee. Wait. Who the hell are you? Someone who knows what Marcus Chin did to you. And someone who knows how to make him pay. He hung up. I sat there staring at my phone. Tyler came down the stairs. Who was that? No idea. You gonna go? I thought about it. About the humiliation. About Sarah's hand on Derek's arm. About my mother's disappointment. About the lawyer's pity. Yeah, I said. I'm gonna go. Mel's Diner was the kind of place that still had booths with cracked vinyl and waitresses who called you Han. I ordered coffee and waited, feeling ridiculous. 20 minutes later, a man slid into the booth across from me. Gerald Rothman was in his 60s, silver-haired, wearing a suit that cost more than my car used to. He had the kind of face that had seen things. Hard things. And hadn't looked away. David Sterling, he said. 34 years old. Yale graduate. 7 years at Chin Analytics. Brilliant mind. Terrible judge of character. You've done your research. I have. You want to know why? Sure. Because Marcus Chin did to you what he did to me 12 years ago. That got my attention. I was his partner. Rothman continued. We built Chin Analytics together. It was Rothman Chin back then. I developed the core algorithms. He handled business development. We were going to change the industry. He smiled, but it was the smile of a man remembering a funeral. Then he bought me out using information I'd shared in confidence about my daughter's medical bills. Forced sale. I got pennies on the dollar. He renamed the company, rewrote the history, and built an empire on my work. Why didn't you sue? I did. He buried me in motions and delays until I ran out of money. Then he destroyed my reputation. Blacklisted me. I couldn't get hired anywhere. Lost my house. Lost my marriage. He leaned forward. But I didn't lose my memory. And I didn't lose my patience. What do you want from me? Not from you. For you. He slid a folder across the table. Marcus Chin is vulnerable. The company's overextended. He's made enemies on the board. His financials are shakier than anyone knows. And your little project? The one Derek stole? It's the linchpin holding everything together. I opened the folder. Financial statements. Emails. Documents I didn't understand but looked important. What is this? leverage, information, power. Rothman smiled. Marcus thinks he's untouchable. He's not. But taking him down requires patience, planning, resources, and most importantly, someone on the inside who he thinks is destroyed. I'm not on the inside anymore. Not yet. He finished his coffee. Here's what I'm offering. I'll fund everything. Lawyers, rent, living expenses. But you work for me. You do exactly what I tell you, when I tell you, how I tell you. And when Marcus Chin is on his knees begging for mercy, we'll both be standing over him. Why would you help me? Because you're useful. And because I'm a patient man. But my patience has limits. I've waited 12 years for the right moment. The right person. That person is you. He stood. You have 24 hours to decide. After that, the offer expires. I'll find someone else. What if I say no? Then you spend the next 10 years applying for jobs at companies that will never hire you, because Marcus will make sure of it. You'll end up bitter, broken, working some dead-end job, wondering what could have been. He put on his coat. Or you can get revenge. Real revenge. The kind that doesn't just humiliate him. The kind that destroys him. He walked out. I sat there for a long time, looking at the folder. Then I texted him. I'm in. Tyler was skeptical. Some random old guy calls you out of nowhere with a revenge plan and you just say yes? He's not random. He's Rothman. He built that company with Marcus. And Marcus destroyed him. What makes you think he won't use you the same way? Because I don't have anything left to lose. That's exactly when you have the most to lose. Tyler grabbed a beer from the fridge. Look, I get it. You're angry. You want payback. But this guy sounds like he's using you. So what if he is? At least I'm doing something. You're doing his something. Not yours. I didn't have an answer for that. My phone buzzed. Rothman. Meet me tomorrow. 2 p.m. Address below. Come alone. I showed Tyler the text. Christmas Day? He said. This guy's a piece of work. You don't have to understand. You just have to trust me. I don't trust anyone. That's why I'm still alive. But he clapped me on the shoulder. Be careful, David. Revenge is expensive. Make sure you're willing to pay the price. The address was a penthouse in downtown Seattle. View of the Space Needle, Elliott Bay, everything. Rothman answered the door in jeans and a sweater. Casual. Almost grandfatherly. Come in. Coffee? Sure. The place was immaculate. Art on the walls. Leather furniture. Floor-to-ceiling windows. This wasn't the home of a destroyed man. You recovered, I said. Eventually. Took years. Different industry. Different name. But yes, I recovered. He handed me coffee in a mug that probably cost more than my suit. The question is whether you will. That's why I'm here. No. He sat across from me. You're here because you're angry. Anger is useful. It's fuel. But it's not enough. Anger burns hot and fast. Revenge requires something colder. Something that lasts. What? Purpose. He opened his laptop and turned it toward me. Financial charts. Corporate structures. Names I recognized and names I didn't. Chin Analytics is worth $200 million on paper. In reality, it's worth less than half that. Marcus has been cooking the books for 3 years, inflating projections, hiding debts. The board suspects but can't prove it. Your project, the one Derek stole, was supposed to generate real results that would validate the fake numbers. So what's the play? We prove the fraud. We expose Marcus. We destroy his credibility. The company collapses. The board fires him. And he loses everything. Rothman smiled. Just like he did to us. How do we prove it? That's where you come in. He pulled up an email. Derek is hosting a New Year's Eve party at his new house. You're going to be there. Derek hates me. He's not going to invite me. He won't. But Sarah will. My stomach tightened. What? Sarah's having second thoughts. Derek's not what she expected. He's arrogant. Controlling. He treats her like a trophy. She's been texting you. He pulled up screenshots. My number. Messages I'd never received because I'd blocked her. David, please. We need to talk. I made a mistake. I know that now. Please don't hate me. How did you get these? I have resources. The point is, she wants you back. Or at least she wants to apologize. You're going to let her? No. Yes. His voice went hard. This isn't about your feelings. This is about access. Sarah can get you into Derek's house. Derek's house has his home computer. His home computer has files that Marcus thinks are secure. Files that prove the fraud. You get in, you copy the drive, you get out. Simple. Nothing about this is simple. No. But it's necessary. He closed the laptop. You want revenge? This is how it starts. Not with grand gestures. With small moves. Pieces on a board. You do this, we move to the next step. You don't, we're done. I thought about Sarah's hand on Derek's back. About Marcus's smile. About my mother's disappointment. How do I contact her? Rothman smiled. I already did. She thinks you reached out. She thinks you want to reconcile. She's going to invite you to the party as her +1. Derek will hate it, but he'll allow it because he wants to rub your face in his victory. He stood. Merry Christmas, David. Your new life starts now. Rothman's penthouse became my war room. He didn't just hand me a plan and wish me luck. He rebuilt me from the ground up, like I was some kind of weapon that had been improperly assembled. You think you know how to manipulate people because you spent 7 years in corporate America? He said that first morning. You don't. You know how to cooperate. How to collaborate. How to make everyone feel good about themselves while you do all the work. That's not manipulation. That's servitude. Thanks for the pep talk. I'm serious. He pulled up a chair across from me. We were in his office, a room I hadn't seen on Christmas Day, hidden behind a bookshelf that swung open like something from a movie. Marcus, Derek, Sarah, they're predators. They identified you as prey because you acted like prey. You were generous. Trusting. You believed in fairness. Those are beautiful qualities in a human being and fatal weaknesses in a war. So what do? You become a predator. But a different kind. The kind they never see coming. He spent the next 6 hours teaching me what he called the fundamentals. How to read body language. How to control conversations without seeming to. How to make people feel like their ideas were their own when you planted them like seeds. How to lie without lying, to omit, deflect, and redirect so smoothly that people thanked you for the misdirection. You're going to walk back into their world, Rothman said. And they're going to think you're broken. Desperate. Looking for scraps. That's your advantage. People get careless around the defeated. They say things. They leave things unlocked. They assume you're too weak to be a threat. What if I am too weak? Then you'll lose again. He leaned forward. But I don't think you are. I think you've been weak because you chose to be. Because you thought weakness was kindness. It's not. Kindness is choosing strength and then deciding not to use it. You've never had the choice before. Now you will. By the end of the day, my head hurt, and I felt like I'd been dissected and put back together wrong. Or maybe right. Tomorrow, Rothman said, we work on your story. The one you'll tell Sarah. The one that gets you in that door. Who are you? Rothman asked. We were sitting in his office again. He had coffee. I had water. He said caffeine would make me jittery during the training. I'm David Sterling. Wrong. David Sterling got fired 4 days ago and died. Who are you now? I don't know. Yes, you do. You're just afraid to say it. I thought about it. About the man who walked into that Christmas party versus the man sitting here now. They didn't feel like the same person. I'm angry, I said. Boring. Everyone's angry. Who are you? I'm calculating. Better. Keep going. I'm patient. I'm willing to wait for what I want. Good. What else? I'm dangerous. The word felt strange in my mouth. I'd never thought of myself that way. I'm someone they should have been afraid of. Rothman smiled. Now we're getting somewhere. That's who you are now. But that's not who Sarah needs to see. He pulled up a profile, psychological analysis, complete with notes. My notes. Information I'd never shared with anyone. How did you? I told you. I have resources. Sarah Vance. 29 years old. Marketing executive. Ambitious. Insecure about her background, grew up poor, clawed her way up, terrified of going back. She dated you because you were stable. Safe. A sure thing. She left you because Derek offered her more. She loved me. She loved what you represented. There's a difference. He closed the file. Right now, she's discovering that Derek is everything she wanted and nothing she needs. He's got money and status, but he's cruel. Dismissive. He makes her feel small. And more importantly, he's dangerous, the kind of man who might discard her the moment someone better comes along. Good. She deserves it. Maybe. But that's not useful to us. What's useful is that she's vulnerable. Questioning her choice. Looking for validation that she didn't make a catastrophic mistake. He looked at me. You're going to give her that validation. And then you're going to take it away. I thought I was supposed to reconcile with her. No. You're supposed to let her think you might reconcile. There's a difference. You're going to be understanding. Forgiving. You're going to tell her you don't blame her, that you understand why she made the choice she did. You're going to be so emotionally mature and evolved that she starts wondering if she made the biggest mistake of her life. And then you're going to pull back. Not in an obvious way. Just enough to make her chase you. She'll invite you to the party. She'll want you there because having you present, the man she left, still pining for her, validates her worth. Derek will hate it, but he'll allow it because it feeds his ego. And you'll use that access to destroy them both. This is insane. This is chess. And you're finally learning to play. He stood. Now let's practice. I'll be Sarah. Convince me you're worth a second chance. I unblocked Sarah's number at 11 a.m. The messages flooded in immediately. Dozens of them, spanning days. David, please talk to me. I know you're angry. You have every right to be. I never meant to hurt you. Derek isn't who I thought he was. I miss you. I read them all without emotion. Rothman had trained me well. Then I texted back. Coffee? Her response was instant. Yes. When? Where? Tomorrow. 2 p.m. Cafe Allegro. I'll be there. Thank you. Thank you so much. I put the phone down. My hands weren't shaking. I thought they would be. Rothman was watching from across the room. How do you feel? Nothing. Good. That's the right answer. Feeling nothing means you're in control. He came over. Tomorrow, you'll feel something. She'll apologize. She'll cry. She'll try to make you understand. And part of you, the old you, will want to forgive her. Will want to believe she's sincere. You need to kill that part. How? By remembering what she did. Not the betrayal itself, that's too abstract. Remember the specifics. Her hand on his back. Her smile. The fact that she watched you get humiliated and destroyed and didn't say a word. Didn't defend you. Didn't walk out with you. She chose her comfort over dignity. Remember that when she cries tomorrow. I nodded. And David? Rothman's voice went soft. This is the point of no return. Once you sit down with her tomorrow, once you start this play, there's no backing out. She'll be collateral damage. So will others. You need to decide right now if you can live with that. I thought about my mother's disappointment, about the lawyer's pity, about waking up in Tyler's basement with nothing. I can live with it. Then get some sleep. Tomorrow we begin. Sarah looked beautiful. That was the first thing I noticed when she walked into Cafe Allegro, and I hated myself for noticing. She wore a cream-colored sweater and jeans, her hair down, minimal makeup. The kind of casual that took effort. The kind that said I'm not trying to impress you while trying very hard to impress me. She saw me and her face crumpled. Not dramatically. Just enough to look genuine. David. Sarah. She sat down across from me, her hands shaking as she reached for the coffee menu. Thank you for agreeing to see me. I know I don't deserve it. Probably not. I said. Rothman's words, be honest, but not cruel. Let her feel guilty without you seeming vindictive. I've been trying to reach you for days. I needed to explain. You don't need to explain anything. I understand what happened. She looked up, surprised. You do? Derek offered you something I couldn't. Security. Status. A future that looked better than the one we had planned. You made a rational choice. I kept my voice level. Calm. I'm not happy about how it happened. But I understand why. Her eyes filled with tears. Real ones, I thought. Or maybe she was just that good. It wasn't rational, she said. It was stupid. I was scared. The mortgage was due, you were working all the time, and Derek started paying attention to me. He made me feel seen. Important. And I convinced myself that what we had wasn't enough. Was it? Yes. She reached across the table but didn't touch me. David, I made a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life. Derek he's not who I thought he was. He's cold. He treats me like I'm lucky to be with him. Like I should be grateful. And all I can think about is how you never made me feel that way. This was the moment. Rothman had prepared me for this exact script. She would apologize. She would cry. She would tell me Derek was wrong and I was right. And then she would ask for forgiveness. I don't expect you to forgive me, she continued. I don't expect you to take me back. But I needed you to know that I'm sorry. That I see what I did. And that if I could go back, I'd make a different choice. I let the silence sit. Counted to 5 in my head. Then, I appreciate that. That's it. What do you want me to say, Sarah? I don't know. That you hate me. That you'll never forgive me. Something. I don't hate you. That was true, actually. I didn't hate her. I didn't feel anything. You made a choice. I'm making mine. What choice is that? To move forward. I lost my job. Lost you. Lost my apartment. Everything fell apart at once. And you know what? Maybe that's what needed to happen. Maybe I was sleepwalking through my life, trying to check boxes that someone else drew. Good job. Good fiancé. Good future. All of it built on foundations I didn't examine. She was listening now. Really listening. The last week has been hell. I continued. But it's also been clarifying. I'm not going to scramble to get back what I lost. I'm going to build something different. Something that's actually mine. That sounds healthy. It feels honest. I finished my coffee. I don't hate you, Sarah. But I also can't give you what you're looking for. If that's closure, fine. You have it. If it's forgiveness, I'm not there yet. If it's a second chance. I shook my head. I'm not that person anymore. Her face fell. I saw it happen, the realization that this wasn't going to be easy. That I wasn't going to collapse into her arms and tell her everything was okay. I understand, she said quietly. But thank you for reaching out. It took courage. She looked up. Will I see you again? Maybe. Seattle's not that big. She nodded. Started to stand. Then, Derek's having a New Year's Eve party. At his new house. I know it's awkward, but would you come? Not as my date. Just as, I don't know, someone I used to know. Someone I still care about. There it was. The invitation. Exactly as Rothman predicted. I pretended to consider it. I don't think that's a good idea. Please. I know how it sounds. But I need someone there who sees me as more than Derek's girlfriend. Someone who knew me before all this. You don't have to stay long. Just an hour. Please. I let her beg. Let the desperation show. Then, okay. 1 hour. Her face lit up. Thank you? Thank you so much. I'll text you the address. Sure. She left. I watched her go, and for just a moment, I felt something. Not love. Not even affection. Just a distant echo of what used to be there. Then my phone buzzed. Rothman. How'd it go? Perfect. I'm in. Good. Now comes the hard part. This is your lifeline, Rothman said, handing me a device that looked like a USB drive but thicker. It's a cloner. You plug it into Derek's computer, it copies the entire hard drive in under 3 minutes. No traces. No logs. Completely clean. What if his computer's locked? It won't be. Derek's arrogant. He doesn't think anyone in his house is a threat. But if it is locked, you text me. I have a backup plan. What backup plan? One you don't need to know about unless we use it. He walked me through the house layout. He'd somehow acquired the blueprints. I didn't ask how. Master bedroom upstairs. Office connected to it. Party would be downstairs, main floor and back deck. I'd need to slip away unnoticed, access the office, clone the drive, and return before anyone missed me. What if Sarah follows me? She won't. You're going to give her something else to focus on. What? Doubt. He pulled up another profile. Derek's been texting his ex-girlfriend. Nothing explicit yet, but enough that it would devastate Sarah if she knew. You're going to mention casually that you heard a rumor about Derek and Amanda Reeves. Sarah will investigate. While she's distracted, you work. You want me to plant suspicion? I want you to plant truth. Derek is texting Amanda. He is keeping his options open. You're just accelerating Sarah's discovery of that fact. Rothman leaned back. This isn't about being cruel. It's about creating windows of opportunity. Chaos is cover. Use it. What happens after I get the files? You disappear from the party. Go back to Tyler's. I'll handle the rest. What rest? The part where we actually destroy them. He smiled. One step at a time, David. First we get the evidence. Then we deploy it. Patience. Derek's house was obscene. 4,000 square feet. Floor-to-ceiling windows. View of Lake Washington. Every light blazing, every surface perfect. The kind of house that screamed I've made it loud enough to drown out any doubt. I arrived at 9 p.m. wearing the only decent suit I had left. Sarah met me at the door. You came. I said I would. She looked nervous. Derek was inside, holding court with a dozen people I recognized from the office. He saw me and his smile sharpened. David Sterling. Didn't expect to see you here. He crossed the room, hand extended. I shook it. His grip was firm. Aggressive. No hard feelings, I hope? About what? Business. You understand. Someone had to present that project properly. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Right place, I repeated. Sure. His eyes narrowed, but his smile stayed fixed. Well, enjoy the party. Bar's open. Try not to steal any more ideas on your way out. People laughed. Not as many as at the Christmas party, but enough. Sarah touched my arm. I'm sorry. He's had a lot to drink. It's fine. But it wasn't fine. Because Derek had just made a mistake. He'd poked me in front of witnesses, expecting me to cower. Instead, I smiled. Sarah, I said loud enough for Derek to hear, I ran into Amanda Reeves last week. She asked about you. Said she'd been texting with Derek a lot lately. Just wanted you to know. Sarah's face went pale. Amanda? His ex, right? Seemed nice. Derek's expression flickered. Just for a second. Then he laughed. Amanda and I are friends. Business contacts. Nothing more. Of course, I said. I'm sure that's all it is. I walked away, leaving that seed to grow. The party was exactly what you'd expect. Rich people drinking expensive wine, talking about their expensive lives, pretending they earned it all through merit rather than privilege and luck and ruthlessness. I nursed a beer and watched. Marcus wasn't there, thank God. But half the senior leadership was. Jennifer Walsh, CFO. Thomas Kim, COO. Both of them laughing at Derek's jokes, orbiting his success. At 10:30 I made my move. Bathroom? I asked a passing waiter. Upstairs. Second door on the right. Perfect. I climbed the stairs, passing couples making out in corners, groups discussing their stock portfolios, the detritus of success and excess. The second floor was quieter. I found the bathroom, flushed the toilet for sound, then slipped down the hall. The office door was unlocked. Derek's computer sat on a glass desk, screen dark. I touched the mouse and it lit up. No password. Rothman was right. Arrogant. I plugged in the cloner. A small light turned red, then yellow, then started pulsing. 3 minutes. I could hear music downstairs, laughter, the countdown to midnight creeping closer. 2 minutes. The door opened. Sarah stood there, her face streaked with tears. David? Sarah. Hey. I was just. What are you doing in here? My mind raced. The cloner was still pulsing on the computer. 1 minute left. I needed space. The party's overwhelming. I thought I could just sit somewhere quiet for a second. She looked at the computer. At me. At the device. What is that? Nothing. Just a thumb drive. I was checking my email. She stepped closer. You're lying. Sarah. You're using his computer to check your email? That doesn't make sense. Her voice rose. What are you really doing? The cloner turned green. Complete. I pulled it out and pocketed it in one smooth motion. I'm looking at financial records. What? Derek stole my project. But that's not all he stole. He's been committing fraud. Him and Marcus. They've been cooking the books for years. And I just copied proof. She stared at me. You're insane. Am I? Ask him about the projections he submitted for Q4. Ask him how he's covering the shortfalls. Ask him why Amanda Reeves, who works for the SEC's Enforcement Division, has been texting him. That last part was a guess. But the way Sarah's face changed told me I'd hit something true. You planned this, she whispered. The coffee. The forgiveness. All of it. You were just getting close so you could use me. Yes. The word hung there. Brutal. Honest. You bastard. Maybe. But I'm the bastard who's going to burn this whole thing down. I moved toward the door. She blocked me. I'm calling Derek. Go ahead. Tell him his girlfriend let his enemy into his office. Tell him you were so desperate for validation from your ex that you compromised his entire operation. See how that goes. She slapped me. Hard enough that my cheek burned. I didn't react. Just looked at her. You chose this, Sarah. When you put your hand on his back at that party. When you watched me get destroyed and said nothing. You chose this. Now live with it. I walked past her and down the stairs. The countdown had started. 10. 9. 8. I found the front door. 7. 6. 5. I heard Sarah screaming my name from upstairs. 4. 3. 2. I stepped out into the cold December air. 1. Fireworks exploded over the lake. Everyone inside cheered. Happy New Year. I met Rothman at his penthouse at dawn. You got it? He asked. I handed him the cloner. He plugged it into his laptop and started scrolling. His face didn't change, but I saw his fingers tighten on the mouse. This is better than I hoped, he said finally. Emails between Derek and Marcus discussing falsified revenue. Correspondence with auditors containing lies. Shell companies. Hidden accounts. Christ, they documented everything. Why would they keep all this? Because they're arrogant. Because they thought they were untouchable. He looked at me. You know what this means? We can destroy them. We can do more than that. We can bury them so deep they'll never surface. He closed the laptop. But we need to be smart about deployment. If we just leak this, they'll lawyer up. They'll claim it was stolen. They'll muddy the waters. We need a clean delivery. To who? The SEC. The board. And the press. All at once. Create a firestorm they can't escape. When? Soon. First, we need to tie up loose ends. What loose ends? His phone rang. He looked at the screen and smiled. That one, he answered. Tyler. Thanks for calling back. My stomach dropped. What? Rothman waved me off, listening. Then, yes, he's here. Hang on. He handed me the phone. It's your brother. I took it. Tyler? David, what the fuck are you doing? He sounded angry. I just got a call from some lawyer saying you're involved in corporate espionage. That you could go to jail. Tell me it's bullshit. Tyler. Tell me you didn't actually break into someone's house and steal files. I looked at Rothman. He mouthed, tell him the truth. I did. Silence. Jesus Christ, David. What were you thinking? I was thinking I wanted revenge. And was it worth it? Is it worth going to prison? I'm not going to prison. How do you know? Because I have protection. Rothman has lawyers. Resources. He knows what he's doing. Rothman? Tyler's voice went cold. The guy who's been pulling your strings for the last week? The guy who convinced you to commit a felony? He didn't convince me of anything. I chose this. No, you didn't. The old David would never have done this. The old David was better than this. The old David got destroyed. And this David is going to get arrested. Tyler sighed. I know you're hurting. I know you want payback. But this isn't the way. Walk away. Disappear. Start over somewhere else. Don't let this consume you. It's too late. It's never too late. Tyler, I appreciate the concern. But I know what I'm doing. Do you? Because from where I'm standing, you look like a guy who's lost everything and is about to lose more. He paused. I'm your brother. I love you. And I'm telling you, walk away. I hung up. Rothman was watching me. Second thoughts? No. Good. Because we're past the point where second thoughts matter. He opened his laptop again. Tomorrow, we release the files. Marcus and Derek go down. The company implodes. And you get to watch them burn. What happens to me? You disappear. New identity. New city. I'll fund it. You start over. Clean slate. That's it. That's everything. He closed the laptop. Revenge isn't about winning, David. It's about them losing. And tomorrow, they lose everything. The story broke at 6 a.m. Tech firm CEO accused of massive fraud, Chin Analytics under investigation. The Seattle Times ran it first. Then the Post-Intelligencer. Then Bloomberg. Then everyone. By 8 a.m., Marcus Chen's face was on every major news site. By 9 a.m., the SEC had issued a statement confirming an investigation. By 10 a.m., the Chin Analytics board had called an emergency meeting. I watched it all from Rothman's penthouse, coffee in hand, feeling nothing. My phone buzzed. Blocked number. Hello? You fucking coward. Derek's voice. Raw. Terrified. You did this. You broke into my house. You stole my files. You. Correction. I stole evidence of your crimes. I'll destroy you. I'll sue you. You'll do nothing. Because if you come after me, I'll release the rest. The parts about you embezzling from the company. The parts about you blackmailing competitors. All of it. Silence. Enjoy your lawyers, Derek. You're going to need them. I hung up. Marcus called next. David. His voice was calm. Too calm. We need to talk. No, we don't. You don't understand what you've done. The people you've hurt. The jobs you've destroyed. I understand perfectly. I destroyed you. Just like you destroyed me. I gave you a job. A career. A future. And you repay me like this? You humiliated me. You stole my work. You fired me in front of everyone I knew. Did you think I'd just disappear? That I'd accept it? I thought you were smart enough to understand business. I am. That's why I'm better at it than you. I ended the call. Rothman appeared beside me. How does it feel? Empty. That's normal. Revenge always feels empty at the end. But watch. He pointed at the TV. A press conference. The Chin Analytics Board. Jennifer Walsh at the microphone. Effective immediately, Marcus Chin has been removed as CEO and is no longer affiliated with Chin Analytics. We are cooperating fully with federal investigators and have implemented new oversight procedures to ensure this never happens again. Cut to footage of Marcus being escorted from the building by security. The same building where he'd humiliated me 12 days ago. Derek Houghton has also been terminated. Walsh continued. All promotions and bonuses issued in December are under review. Rothman smiled. Now it feels good. He was right. Sarah called. I almost didn't answer. But curiosity won. David. Sarah. I saw the news. Everything they're saying about Derek and Marcus. It's true, isn't it? Yes. Did you know? When we had coffee? Yes. So you used me. You pretended to be understanding and mature, and all of it was just strategy. Yes. She was crying. I deserve that. I know I do. But it still hurts. Good. I'm sorry. For everything. For what I did. For who I became. She took a shaky breath. Derek dumped me. Said I was a liability. Said he couldn't be associated with me anymore. I'm back at my old apartment. My old life. Everything I ran toward fell apart. That's not my problem. I know. But I wanted you to know anyway. That I paid for what I did. You didn't pay enough. I hung up. Tyler called an hour later. I saw the news, he said. Guess you knew what you were doing after all. I told you I did. Yeah. But there's a difference between knowing something and watching it happen. He paused. How do you feel? Satisfied. Good. That's healthy. Another pause. So what now? What do you mean? You got your revenge. Marcus is finished. Derek's finished. Your work is validated. What comes next? I hadn't thought about that. The last 2 weeks had been so focused on the goal, on the destruction, that I hadn't considered what came after. I don't know, I admitted. Well, when you figure it out, you know where I am. Couch is always open. He laughed. Hell, maybe you can afford a better couch now. Rothman paying you? Something like that. Be careful with him, David. Guys like that don't do favors. They make investments. Eventually, he'll want a return. I'll handle it. I know you will. You're good at handling things now. He hung up. I sat there in Rothman's penthouse, looking out at the city, at the life I'd burned down and rebuilt in the span of 2 weeks. And for the first time since the Christmas party, I smiled. Not because I was happy. Because I was free. The board of Chin Analytics requested a meeting. I almost said no. What could they possibly want from me? But Rothman insisted. Go. Listen. This is the beginning of your real comeback. So I went. The conference room was the same one where I'd pitched my project 6 months ago. Different faces around the table now. Jennifer Walsh. Thomas Kim. 3 board members I didn't recognize. And one I did. Gerald Rothman. Mr. Sterling, Walsh began. Thank you for coming. I'm sure you're aware of the situation we're facing. Your CEO and VP of Sales committed fraud. The company's under investigation. Stocks dropped 40%. Clients are fleeing. Yeah, I'm aware. We deserve that. She didn't flinch. We failed in our oversight. We allowed Marcus Chin to operate without adequate supervision. And we're paying for that failure now. But the company employs 300 people. Good people who had nothing to do with Marcus's crimes. They don't deserve to lose their jobs because of his actions. What does this have to do with me? We need leadership. Someone who understands the technology. Someone the board can trust. Someone who has a vision for moving forward. She leaned forward. We want to offer you the position of Chief Technology Officer. Immediate start. 200,000 salary plus equity. Full control over product development. I stared at her. You're joking. We're not. Your project, the one Derek stole, it's the foundation of our future. We need someone who can execute it. Someone who can rebuild trust. That's you? Why would I work for the company that destroyed me? Because we're not that company anymore, Thomas Kim said. Marcus is gone. Derek is gone. We've cleaned house. New leadership. New board. New accountability measures. We're building something better. And we want you to be part of it. I looked at Rothman. He nodded slightly. I need time to think about it, I said. Take a week, Walsh said. But David? We really hope you say yes. You deserve this. You earned it. I confronted Rothman the moment we left the building. You set that up. I provided the opportunity. You earned it. You're on the board now. That wasn't part of the plan. Plans change. Marcus's seat needed to be filled. I filled it. He smiled. Don't look so betrayed. This is good for you. CTO of a $200 million company. Full rehabilitation. Your mother will be thrilled. I don't want to work for you. You won't be. You'll work for the board. I'm one vote among many. But you'll have leverage. You'll have expectations. Of course I will. I invested time and money into you. I expect a return. But that return is your success, David. I want you to thrive. I want Chin Analytics to thrive under new management. I want us both to win. What if I say no? Then you walk away with nothing. No job. No vindication. No proof that you were right all along. You'll have revenge, but you won't have resurrection. He put a hand on my shoulder. Take the job. Prove everyone wrong. Show them you weren't just a victim. Show them you're a survivor. A winner. The man they should have bet on all along. I thought about it. About the look on my mother's face when I told her I was CTO. About walking back into that building not as an exile but as leadership. About taking the project that Derek stole and making it mine again. One condition, I said. Name it. I report to the board, not to you. You give me full autonomy. No interference. No expectations beyond the job itself. Agreed. And if you ever try to manipulate me the way you manipulated Sarah and Derek, I'll expose you. I'll release everything I know about your methods. Your resources. Your revenge against Marcus. All of it. He smiled. I wouldn't expect anything less. Do we have a deal? I shook his hand. We have a deal. Walking back into Chin Analytics felt surreal. Same building. Same lobby. Same security guard at the desk, Ramon, who'd escorted me out 2 weeks ago. Mr. Sterling, he said, surprise in his voice. I heard you were coming back. Congratulations. Thanks, Ramon. How's your daughter? Better. Thanks for asking. He handed me a new badge. Welcome back. The elevator ride to the 43rd floor felt longer than I remembered. When the doors opened, the entire floor went quiet. Every head turned. Every conversation stopped. 200 people staring at the man who'd been humiliated, destroyed, and exiled, now returning as their new CTO. Jennifer Walsh appeared at my side. Don't worry. They'll adjust. Give them time. I'm not worried. And I wasn't. Because I understood something now that I hadn't understood 2 weeks ago. Fear was more useful than love. Respect was earned through power, not likability. She led me to my new office. Corner view. Glass walls. Everything Marcus used to have. We've scheduled an all-hands meeting for this afternoon, Walsh said. You'll introduce yourself. Lay out your vision. Show them who you are now. What if they hate me? Then they hate you. But they'll respect you. And in business, that's more valuable. She left me alone. I sat at my desk and pulled up the company directory. 300 names. 300 people whose livelihoods now partially depended on my decisions. My phone buzzed. Tyler. First day. How's it feel? Strange. Good strange. Maybe. Proud of you, bro. You earned this. I smiled. Put the phone away. And got to work. The auditorium was packed. I stood backstage, watching the crowd filter in, hearing the murmurs. Some people looked curious. Some looked angry. Some looked scared. All of them looked uncertain. You ready? Walsh asked. As I'll ever be. Remember, confidence, not arrogance. Vision, not vengeance. They need to believe you're here for the company, not yourself. What if I'm here for both? She smiled. Then fake it for an hour. I walked onto the stage. The room didn't exactly erupt in applause, but there was polite clapping. I took the microphone. I'm David Sterling, I said. Some of you know me. Some of you watched me get fired at the Christmas party. Some of you probably agreed with that decision. Nervous laughter. I'm not here to relitigate the past. I'm not here to point fingers or settle scores. I'm here because this company, despite everything, still has potential. Still has brilliant people. Still has technology that can change our industry. I clicked to the first slide. My original project. The one Derek stole. This was my work. My design. My vision. Derek Houghton took it, put his name on it, and got promoted. Marcus Chin approved that theft. And for a while, I was angry about that. Furious, actually. More nervous laughter. But anger's a dead end. Anger destroys you before it destroys your enemies. So I'm not angry anymore. I'm focused. And what I'm focused on is this, taking this project and making it everything I promised it could be. Not for Marcus. Not for Derek. For us. For this company. For the 300 people in this room who deserve better than watching their leadership commit fraud while they work their asses off. The room shifted. People leaning forward now. I'm not going to pretend I'm perfect. I made mistakes. I bypassed channels. I thought I was special. I learned the hard way that I wasn't. But I also learned something else. This company works when we trust each other. When we collaborate instead of compete. When we reward merit instead of politics. I looked around the room. Found familiar faces. Jenny from accounting. Thomas from IT. People I'd worked with. People who'd watched me fall. I can't promise this will be easy. The SEC investigation is ongoing. We've lost clients. We've lost credibility. But I can promise you this, if you give me your best work, I'll give you mine. If you trust me to lead the technology division, I'll trust you to do your jobs without interference. And if you help me rebuild this company into something we can be proud of, I'll make sure you share in that success. I paused. Questions? Silence for a moment. Then a hand went up. Jenny from accounting. Yes? Why should we trust you? You broke into Derek Houghton's house. You stole files. You exposed the company to federal investigation. Some of us lost our savings when the stock crashed. Why should we believe you care about us? Fair question. Brutal, but fair. You shouldn't, I said. Trust isn't given. It's earned. And I haven't earned yours yet. But I will. Because every decision I make from this point forward will be transparent. Every goal I set will be measurable. And every time I succeed or fail, you'll know about it. I'm not asking for blind faith. I'm asking for a chance to prove I deserve your trust. Jenny sat down, expression unreadable. Another hand. Thomas from IT. What happens to the people who supported Marcus and Derek? Are they safe? If they broke the law, they'll face consequences. If they made bad judgment calls but acted in good faith, they'll get second chances. I'm not here to purge people. I'm here to build things. I looked at him directly. You trained me, Thomas. You taught me half of what I know about systems architecture. Do you think I'd throw that away because you reported to the wrong guy? He nodded slowly. More hands? More questions? I answered them all. Honestly. Directly. Without deflection. By the end of the hour, the room felt different. Not trusting yet. But open. Willing to see what happened next. Walsh found me afterward. That was good. Better than good. You gave them hope. Did I? You gave them something to believe in. That's all anyone really wants. Marcus Chin requested a meeting. I almost said no. But curiosity, and maybe something darker, made me say yes. We met at a neutral location. A hotel bar downtown. He was already there when I arrived, looking smaller than I remembered. Older. The federal investigation had aged him. David, he said. Thank you for coming. Marcus. I sat across from him. Didn't order a drink. Didn't offer pleasantries. I won't waste your time, he said. I know you hate me. I know you have every reason to. But I want you to understand something. I'm listening. Everything I did for the company. The fraud, the cooked books, the aggressive accounting, it was all to keep us competitive. To keep us alive. The market is brutal. Investors demand growth. If you're not growing, you're dying. So I did what I had to do. You stole my work. I reallocated resources. Derek was better positioned to present to the board. You were too junior. Too unknown. They wouldn't have listened to you. So you humiliated me instead. I made a business decision. A cold one, yes. But necessary. He leaned forward. I gave you a career, David. I hired you out of Yale when no one else would. I promoted you twice. I paid you well. And when you betrayed that by going around me to the board, I responded. That's how power works. Is that why you're here? To explain power to me? I'm here because I'm going to prison. 5 years minimum. Maybe 10. My lawyers are negotiating, but the SEC has me dead to rights. He smiled, but it was hollow. And I wanted to see the man who put me there. The man I underestimated. I didn't put you there. You did. I just provided evidence. Semantics. He finished his drink. You won, David. Congratulations. You got your revenge. You got my job, my company, my legacy. You got everything. I hope it's worth it. It is. He studied me. You've changed. The David Sterling I knew wouldn't have burned everything down just to watch me suffer. He was too soft. Too moral. That David Sterling died at the Christmas party. You killed him. Then I created you. The you sitting here now. He stood. When you're my age, when you've had time to think about what you did and who you became, you'll understand. Revenge changes you. Hardens you. And one day, someone younger and hungrier will do to you what you did to me. That's the cycle. That's the game. And you're in it now whether you like it or not. He walked away. I sat there for a long time, thinking about what he'd said. About cycles and games and becoming what you destroy. Then I paid for his drink and left. 3 weeks into my new role, I called an executive meeting. Walsh, Kim, Rothman, and the rest of the board. Plus my entire senior leadership team. We're pivoting, I said. Explain, Walsh said. I pulled up the presentation I'd been building since I took the job. Chin Analytics has spent the last 5 years chasing quarterly growth at the expense of sustainable innovation. We've cut corners. We've oversold capabilities. We've prioritized short-term gains over long-term value. And it almost destroyed us. Agreed, Kim said. What's your solution? We rebuild from the foundation up. New product architecture. New client relationships. New internal culture. We stop selling vapor and start delivering substance. That's a nice speech, one of the board members said. But how does that translate to revenue? I clicked to the next slide. Financial projections. We'll take a hit for the next 2 quarters while we retool. But by Q3, we'll have a platform that actually works. By Q4, we'll have client retention that doesn't depend on smoke and mirrors. And by next year, we'll have sustainable growth that doesn't require fraud to maintain. Silence around the table. Then Rothman. And what happens to the people who prefer the old way? They adapt or they leave. We're not running that company anymore. Walsh smiled. I like it. Bold. Risky. But honest. We don't have a choice, I said. Either we rebuild with integrity, or we die slowly trying to resurrect a corrupt system. I'd rather die trying something new than succeed at something rotten. Poetic, Rothman said. But do you have the operational details to back that up? Every single one. I've spent the last 3 weeks rebuilding our technical roadmap, renegotiating our vendor contracts, and interviewing every department head about what they actually need to do their jobs well. It's all in the appendix. I handed out the documentation. 200 pages. Comprehensive. Exhaustive. Walsh flipped through it. This is impressive. It's necessary. We lost our credibility. We have to earn it back. And that starts with being the company we should have been all along. The board voted. Unanimous approval. Congratulations, David, Walsh said. You're not just CTO anymore. You're the face of our future. Let's hope that's a good thing. Sarah called. I'd been ignoring her messages for weeks. But something about the date, Valentine's Day, the day we'd always spent together, made me answer. Hello? David. I didn't think you'd pick up. Neither did I. Silence. Then, I'm calling to say goodbye. Where are you going? Portland. I got a job at a small marketing firm. Fresh start. Away from Seattle. Away from everything. She paused. I wanted to apologize one more time. For real this time. Not because I want you back. Not because I think it'll change anything. But because I need to say it. Okay. What I did to you was unforgivable. I knew it was wrong when I did it. I knew Derek was using me. I knew Marcus was corrupt. And I chose comfort over integrity. I chose status over loyalty. And I destroyed us both in the process. I'm not destroyed. No. You're not. You're stronger. Better. And I'm. She laughed, but it was bitter. I'm back where I started. Alone. Working a job that doesn't matter. Dating men who don't care. And the worst part is I know I deserve it. You do. I know. Another pause. But I also know you didn't deserve what we did to you. And I'm sorry. Truly, deeply sorry. Not for me. For you. You deserve better. Yes. I did. Are you happy now? With everything you've accomplished? I thought about it. About the corner office and the title and the revenge that had tasted so sweet and felt so empty. I don't know yet. Then I hope you find it. Happiness. Peace. Whatever comes next. Her voice cracked. Goodbye, David. Goodbye, Sarah. She hung up. I sat there in my apartment, a new place, nothing fancy but mine, and thought about the man I'd been and the man I'd become. Tyler was right. Revenge had changed me, hardened me, made me someone I barely recognized. But maybe that wasn't a bad thing. Maybe the old David, the soft, trusting, optimistic one, wasn't built for this world. Maybe the new David, the calculating, patient, dangerous one, was exactly who I needed to be. Or maybe I was still figuring that out. The SEC closed its investigation. Marcus Chin pled guilty to securities fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy. 7 years in federal prison. Derek Houghton got 3 years as a cooperating witness. Chin Analytics paid a $50 million fine but avoided criminal charges as a corporate entity. The stock recovered to 80% of its pre-scandal value. Clients started returning. The company survived. And I got a call from my mother. "David? Hi, Mom. I saw the news. About Marcus. About the company. About you." She paused. "I owe you an apology. You don't owe me anything." "Yes, I do. I didn't believe you. When you told me what happened, I assumed you'd done something wrong. That you deserved it. And I was cruel. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's not. But I'm proud of you. For surviving. For rebuilding. For proving everyone wrong." Her voice wavered. "I'm proud of the man you've become." I felt something crack inside me. Something that had been frozen since the Christmas party. "Thanks, Mom. Your father wants to talk to you too. When you have time. I'll call him. I love you, David. I love you too." We hung up. And for the first time in months I cried. Not because I was sad. Not because I was angry. But because I'd finally gotten something I didn't know I needed. Absolution. Tyler showed up at my apartment unannounced. "Nice place," he said, looking around. "CTO money treating you well?" "It's fine." "Just fine?" He laughed. "Bro, you're making $500,000 a year. You can say it's great." "It's great." He sat down on my couch. "So. You won. You got revenge. You got the job. You got your life back. How does it feel?" "Complicated." "Yeah." He opened a beer, brought his own, like always. "That's the thing about revenge. It's never as satisfying as you think it'll be. You spend all this time imagining the moment you win, the moment they lose, and when it finally happens, it's just a moment. Then it's over. And you're left with whatever you became in the process. Are you saying I made a mistake? I'm saying you made a choice. And choices have consequences. You're not the same person you were 3 months ago. You're harder. Colder. More strategic. That's not bad. But it's different. And you need to decide if you like the person you've become. What if I don't know yet? Then keep living. Keep working. Keep figuring it out." He raised his beer. "But don't forget who you were. The good parts. The parts that made you worth saving. Because if you lose those, then Marcus wins. Even from prison." I clinked bottles with him. "When did you get so wise?" "I've always been wise. You were just too busy being perfect to notice." We drank in silence for a while. Then Tyler. "So what's next? You gonna stay at Chin Analytics? Climb the ladder? Become CEO?" "Maybe. I don't know. Part of me wants to build something of my own. Something that isn't tainted by everything that happened." "Then do it. You've got the skills. The connections. The reputation now. You could walk away tomorrow and start your own thing. And walk away from the revenge. From proving them all wrong? You already proved them wrong. You won. The question now is, what do you do with the win?" I didn't have an answer. Rothman called me to his penthouse. "We need to talk about your future," he said. "My future? You've exceeded every expectation. The company's stabilized. The board trusts you. The employees respect you. You're exactly what I hoped you'd be. Sounds like you're about to ask for something." He smiled. "I want you to become CEO." I stared at him. Walsh is CEO. Walsh is interim CEO. She never wanted the permanent position. She's already told the board she'll step aside when we find the right candidate. He poured coffee. That candidate is you. I've been CTO for 3 months. And you've transformed the company in those 3 months. You have vision. You have integrity. You have the trust of the people who matter. You're ready. What's the catch? No catch. I want you to succeed. I want Chin Analytics to succeed. This is how we make that happen. And you maintain control through me. I maintain influence. There's a difference. He sat across from me. I won't lie to you, David. I invested in your revenge because I wanted my own. I helped you because I saw an opportunity. But I also saw potential. Real potential. And I want to help you achieve it. At what cost? No cost. I'm not asking for favors. I'm not asking for loyalty beyond what any board member deserves. I'm offering you the chance to lead. To build. To prove that you're more than just the man who destroyed Marcus Chen. You're the man who replaced him. I thought about it. About the corner office on the top floor. About leading 300 people. About my mother's pride. About becoming everything I'd lost and more. I need time to think. Take all the time you need. But David? He stood. Don't let fear of becoming Marcus stop you from becoming who you're meant to be. There's a difference between ambition and corruption. Learn it. I called a meeting with Walsh, Rothman, and the board. I've made my decision, I said. And? Walsh asked. I'm declining the CEO position. Silence around the table. Why? Rothman asked, genuine surprise in his voice. Because I'm not ready. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I'm good at technology. I'm good at building systems. But leadership of an entire company? That requires something I don't have yet. What? Walsh asked. Perspective. Distance from the revenge. Clarity about who I am and what I want. I looked around the table. 3 months ago, I was destroyed. Humiliated. Broken. You gave me a second chance and I'm grateful. But I'm still figuring out who I am now. And I don't want to lead this company until I'm sure I'm doing it for the right reasons. What are the wrong reasons? One board member asked. Proving Marcus wrong. Proving my mother wrong. Proving myself wrong. Those are all fine motivations for survival. But they're terrible motivations for leadership. Walsh smiled. That's the most mature thing I've heard in this room in years. So what do you want? Rothman asked. I want to stay CTO. I want to build the technology division into something world-class. And when I'm ready, if I'm ever ready, I'll let you know. The board exchanged glances. Then Walsh. We accept. You stay CTO. We'll find another CEO. But David? Yeah? Thank you for being honest. Most people would have taken the promotion and figured it out later. You're different. I'm trying to be. I took Tyler to lunch at the restaurant where Sarah and I had our last coffee. Symbolic location, he said. Closure. You get closure? I'm getting there. We ordered. Ate. Talked about nothing important. It felt good. Normal. Then Tyler. So you're really staying? Not taking the CEO job? Really staying. Good. I think that's smart. He paused. You know what I realized watching you these last few months? What? Revenge didn't save you. You saved yourself? Rothman gave you tools. Marcus gave you motivation. But you did the work. You made the choices. You became who you needed to be. Is that a compliment? It's an observation. And a warning. He leaned forward. Don't lose yourself in the winning. Don't become so focused on never being weak again that you forget how to be human. That's how you turn into Marcus. I'm not Marcus. Not yet. But you could be. That's what scares me. It scares me too. Good. That means you're still you. He raised his glass. To second chances. and figuring out what to do with them. To second chances. We drank. And I realized something. I wasn't happy yet. I wasn't at peace yet. But I was alive. I was fighting. I was building something. And maybe that was enough. The company Christmas party was at the same hotel. Same ballroom. Same decorations. But everything else was different. Walsh stood on stage, microphone in hand, smiling at the crowd. "This has been an extraordinary year," she said. "We survived scandal. We rebuilt our reputation. We retained 90% of our clients and acquired 50 new ones. And we did it because of the people in this room. Your dedication. Your resilience. Your refusal to give up." Applause. "I want to particularly thank our CTO, David Sterling, who transformed our technology division and gave us a foundation to build on." "David, stand up." I stood. The room erupted in applause. Real applause this time. Walsh continued. "David started this year as one of our biggest critics. He challenged us. He held us accountable. And he showed us what leadership looks like when it's rooted in integrity rather than ego." "Thank you, David." I nodded. Sat down. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text. "Congratulations. You earned it. Marcus." I stared at it for a long time. Then I deleted it. Because I didn't need his validation anymore. I didn't need anyone's validation. I'd found something better. Myself. Later that night, I stood outside the hotel, looking at the city, thinking about everything that had happened. A year ago, I'd walked out these doors destroyed. Tonight I walked out whole. Not perfect. Not undamaged. But whole. My phone rang. "Tyler." "Hey. How was the party?" "Good. Different. You good?" "Yeah. I'm good. Proud of you, bro." "Thanks. Love you." "Love you too." I hung up and walked toward my car. Toward my life. Toward whatever came next. And for the first time in a year, I wasn't looking back. So what do you think? Was David right to take revenge? Did he go too far, or not far enough? What would you have done if you were humiliated like that at the Christmas party? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me your country. I love seeing how far these stories travel around the world. If this story moved you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more intense revenge and comeback stories, and if you're feeling generous, leave a super thanks. Your support helps me bring you these stories every week. Share this with someone who needs to hear that comebacks are always possible. That falling down doesn't mean staying down. That revenge, when executed with precision and patience, can taste sweeter than anything. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next story. Now go out there and build your own comeback.